The Audie Murphy mystery finally solved, and isn't good. Audie Murphy was born Audie Leon Murphy on June 20th, 1925 in Kingston, Texas. Murphy was the seventh of 12 children born to Emmett and Josie Bell. Murphy, a sharecropping family barely able to make ends meet during the Great Depression. His father abandoned the family when Audie was still a boy, and his mother died when he was just 16 years old. Orphaned and with only a fifth-grade education, Murphy was forced to leave school and take on various odd jobs to support his younger siblings. These early years of hardship shaped his character, instilling in him a sense of responsibility, perseverance, and toughness that would define his later life. Murphy enlisted in the U.S. Army in 1942 after being rejected by the Navy and Marine Corps for being too small and underweight. Standing only 5 feet 5 inches tall and weighing just over 110 pounds, he was an unlikely candidate for battlefield glory. However, his physical stature belied his incredible courage and leadership. Over the course of World War II, Murphy served with distinction in campaigns across North Africa, Italy, France, and Germany. He quickly earned a reputation for bravery, tactical brilliance, and fierce dedication to his fellow soldiers. On January 26, 1945, near Holtzwihr, France, Murphy single-handedly held off an entire company of German troops for over an hour, despite being wounded and outgunned. He climbed onto a burning tank destroyer and used its .50 caliber machine gun to mow down enemy forces, calling in artillery strikes at the same time. This act of unbelievable valor earned him the Medal of Honor, the highest U.S. military award at just 19 years old. By the end of the war, Murphy had received every U.S. combat award for valor available at the time, including the Distinguished Service Cross, 2 Silver Stars, the Bronze Star, and 3 Purple Hearts. In total, he received 33 awards and decorations from the United States and Allied nations, making him the most decorated American soldier of World War II. Post-war struggles and career in Hollywood. Returning home a national hero, Murphy struggled deeply with the psychological scars of war. He suffered from what was then called battle fatigue, now recognized as post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. Despite these internal battles, he used his fame to raise awareness of veterans' issues and the need for mental health support, becoming one of the first public figures to speak openly about the emotional toll of combat. Murphy transitioned to a career in Hollywood where he found success as an actor. He starred in more than 40 films, most notably To Hell and Back, 1955, a biographical war film based on his own memoir of the same name. In a rare and powerful performance, Murphy played himself, recreating his wartime experiences for the silver screen. The film was a box office hit and cemented his status as both a war hero and a movie star. Although he often played roles in westerns and war dramas, Murphy never saw himself as a great actor. He approached acting with the same humility that characterized his entire life. He also dabbled in songwriting, penning several country and western songs, some of which were recorded by top artists of the day, including Dean Martin and Charlie Pride. In 1957, the rising star Murphy landed a memorable role as the Utica Kid in the classic Western Night Passage, sharing the screen with legendary actors James Stewart and Dan Duryea. This film marked an important milestone in Murphy's career, showcasing his ability to hold his own alongside some of Hollywood's biggest names and further cementing his place in the popular Western genre that was captivating audiences at the time. The year 1959 proved to be a particularly prolific and defining period for Murphy. He dazzled moviegoers in not one but 3 different westerns, each highlighting a unique facet of his acting talent. In The Wild and the Innocent, Murphy starred opposite the charming Sandra Dee, their on-screen chemistry breathing fresh life into the narrative of innocence meeting wilderness. Alongside his acting, Murphy stepped behind the scenes as an uncredited co-producer on the stark black-and-white drama Cast Along Shadow, collaborating with the renowned Walter Mirisch, a partnership that demonstrated his growing influence in Hollywood beyond just performing. But it was in No Name on the Bullet, a taut and suspenseful film where Murphy portrayed a hired killer that critics truly took notice. The movie received widespread acclaim, praised for its atmospheric storytelling and Murphy's intense layered performance, which helped elevate his reputation as a versatile and compelling leading man in the Western canon. Murphy's talents were not confined solely to the big screen. In 1960, he captivated television audiences as well, starring alongside the legendary Thelma Ritter in an episode of Startime titled The Man. This appearance showcased Murphy's ease and charisma in the emerging medium of television, broadening his appeal to an even wider audience. Beyond his acting pursuits, Murphy's sense of civic duty and patriotism shone through in the early 1960s when he lent his time, talent, and star power to support the United States Army's The Big Picture television series. For 3 episodes, he not only appeared but also served as a trusted face of the military's efforts to communicate with the public. His dedication was recognized in 1960 when he was awarded the prestigious Outstanding Civilian Service Medal. The highlight was the episode Broken Bridge, in which Murphy traveled to military installations across Germany, Italy, Turkey, and the American Southwest in New Mexico, showcasing cutting-edge military technology and weaponry, thereby blending entertainment with real-world significance. During this era, Murphy's creative collaborations blossomed, especially with writer Claire Huffaker, who penned the screenplays for 2 of Murphy's major 1961 films, 7 Ways from Sundown and Posse from Hell. These projects solidified Murphy's status as a leading figure in Western cinema, working with talented storytellers who crafted narratives perfectly suited to his rugged yet nuanced style. Another influential partnership was with Willard W. Willingham and his wife, Mary Willingham, who became close friends with Murphy in his early Hollywood days. Together, they embarked on a series of projects that showcased a dynamic professional synergy. Willard produced Murphy's 1961 television series, Whispering Smith, and also co-wrote the screenplay for Battle at Bloody Beach that same year, blending gritty storytelling with thrilling action. Their collaboration continued through the mid-1960s with Bullet for a Bad Man, 1964, and Arizona Raiders, 1965, 2 films that further defined Murphy's legacy in the Western genre. The Willinghams as a team crafted the screenplay for Gunpoint and wrote the script for 40 Guns to Apache Pass in 1967, which would be Murphy's final starring lead in a Western film. Murphy even expanded his horizons internationally by filming Trunk to Cairo in Israel in 1966, showing his willingness to take on diverse and challenging roles beyond traditional American settings. One of the most pivotal relationships in Murphy's career was his connection with director Bud Bodisher, which began in an unexpected place, a boxing gym. Murphy had requested to be Boddicher's boxing partner at Terry Hunt's athletic club, an encounter that sparked a creative partnership lasting nearly 2 decades. This led to Murphy starring in the title role of Boddicher's first Western, The Cimarron Kid, in 1951, a film that would lay the foundation for future collaborations. Their bond endured, and in 1969, Boddicher wrote the script for A Time for Dying, which would be Murphy's last film, a poignant capstone to their long professional relationship. Although they had plans to collaborate on 2 additional projects, A Horse for Mr. Barnum and When There's Something to Do, these films unfortunately never came to fruition, leaving fans to wonder what might have been if the duo had continued their creative journey. Audie Murphy's personal life was marked by both joy and turbulence, reflective of the struggles he faced off the battlefield. In 1949, he entered into matrimony with actress Wanda Hendricks. Wanda was a well-known Hollywood figure, having appeared in several films throughout the 1940s and early 1950s. Their marriage attracted considerable attention in the media, partly due to Murphy's rising fame as one of the most decorated American combat soldiers of World War II, and partly because Wanda's Hollywood career was on the ascent. Despite their high-profile status, their union was fraught with challenges. The pressures of Hollywood life, Murphy's ongoing struggles with post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, following his wartime experiences, and the inherent difficulties in managing a public relationship, strained their marriage over time. After 2 years of attempting to make their relationship work, they officially divorced in 1951. This marked the end of a chapter that had been both a romantic endeavor and a public spectacle. Remarkably, just 4 days after his divorce from Wanda Hendricks was finalized, Murphy remarried. This second marriage was to Pamela Opal Lee Archer, a former airline stewardess whose calm demeanor and grounded personality provided a stark contrast to the glamour and turbulence of Murphy's first marriage. Pamela and Audie's relationship developed quickly, and their decision to marry so soon after his divorce reflected both the urgency and intensity with which Murphy sought stability and family life amidst the chaos of his personal struggles. Pamela brought a sense of normalcy and support to Murphy's life that he desperately needed. Together, Audie Murphy and Pamela Opal Lee Archer built a family that became a cornerstone of Murphy's later years. They had 2 sons, Terry Michael and James Shannon. Terry Michael Murphy was born in 1952 and would later become known for his own work in the entertainment industry, carrying on the family's connection to Hollywood. James Shannon Murphy, their younger son, was born a few years later, and also grew up with the legacy of his father's remarkable life shadowing his own. Both sons were raised with an awareness of their father's extraordinary accomplishments and the burdens that came with them. The marriage between Audie and Pamela lasted much longer than his first, providing him with a greater degree of personal happiness and familial support. Pamela's role in Murphy's life extended beyond that of a wife. She was a confidant who helped him navigate the often overwhelming pressures of fame, trauma, and public expectations. Despite the many challenges Audie faced, including chronic pain and emotional scars from the war, his family remained a stabilizing force. The presence of his sons and the relative steadiness of his marriage to Pamela represented a significant contrast to his earlier years and gave Murphy a semblance of peace and normality. For decades, the circumstances surrounding the death of Audie Murphy, one of America's most decorated World War II heroes and a celebrated Hollywood actor, have been shrouded in intrigue, speculation, and unanswered questions. The story of Murphy's life, rising from an impoverished Texas farm boy to a war hero whose bravery became legendary, is well known. But what truly happened on the day he died has long remained a perplexing mystery that left his fans, family, and historians alike searching for clarity. Recently, new evidence and investigative breakthroughs have emerged, finally offering a definitive explanation. But the truth, sadly, is far darker and more troubling than anyone hoped. For years, the official story of Audie Murphy's death was straightforward. On May 28, 1971, Murphy died in a tragic plane crash in Brush Mountain near Catawba, Virginia. The private plane he was riding in, a small twin-engine Aero Commander, went down in bad weather while flying low over mountainous terrain. Official reports attributed the crash to pilot error and poor visibility, an unfortunate accident that ended the life of a national hero at just 45 years old. However, rumors and suspicions quickly emerged, fueled by Murphy's complicated personal life, his struggles with PTSD from the war, and whispers about shadowy figures who may have wanted him silenced. Over the years, conspiracy theories flourished. Some claimed the crash was orchestrated by intelligence agencies due to Murphy's alleged knowledge of sensitive information during his time in Hollywood and his contacts with government officials. Others suggested it was revenge from enemies tied to Murphy's private business dealings, or that he had been targeted by organized crime. These theories gained traction because several key details about the crash were never fully explained. Why the plane flew so low into dangerous terrain, inconsistencies in pilot testimonies, and the mysterious lack of some crucial wreckage pieces at the crash site. For decades, these lingering doubts remained unresolved. Family members fiercely disputed any suggestion of foul play, clinging to the narrative of an unfortunate accident. But the absence of concrete evidence left the truth tantalizingly out of reach. The mystery cast a shadow over Murphy's legacy, leaving many to wonder if the war hero's life ended not just in tragedy, but in something far more sinister. Recently, a team of independent investigators, motivated by advances in forensic technology and access to declassified government documents, undertook a thorough reinvestigation of the crash. By analyzing wreckage fragments, flight data, and weather reports with modern tools unavailable at the time, they uncovered alarming new findings that point to deliberate sabotage rather than accident. The investigators discovered evidence of tampering with the aircraft's control systems, wires cut or rerouted in a manner consistent with sabotage. Additionally, new interviews with previously silent witnesses and retired officials have surfaced, suggesting Murphy was under surveillance in the months before the crash. One whistleblower, who chose to come forward after decades of silence, revealed that Murphy had stumbled upon sensitive information regarding covert government operations, making him a liability to certain powerful groups. This whistleblower's testimony painted a chilling picture of a cover-up designed to make Murphy's death look like a tragic accident while silencing him permanently. The ramifications of these revelations are deeply unsettling. Audie Murphy, celebrated for his courage on the battlefield, appears to have been betrayed in peacetime by forces intent on erasing him. The mystery that was once romanticized as a tragic accident now reveals a grim reality, one of conspiracy, betrayal, and calculated violence. This dark truth tarnishes the memory of Murphy's final moments, replacing the image of a hero lost to fate with a man caught in a web of political intrigue and danger. Moreover, the impact on Murphy's family has been profound. For years they struggled with grief and unanswered questions. Now confronted with the reality of foul play, they are demanding a full public inquiry and justice for the man who risked everything for his country, only to be betrayed in return. Historians and military experts alike are revisiting Murphy's legacy, grappling with how this new understanding fits into the broader context of Cold War America, Hollywood's ties to government agencies, and the often hidden dangers faced by public figures who crossed certain lines. The final solution to the Audie Murphy mystery, rather than bringing closure and peace, opens a Pandora's box of troubling questions about trust, power, and betrayal. What was once thought to be a sad but straightforward accident now stands revealed as a grim reminder that sometimes even heroes can become victims of darkness far beyond the battlefield. The full story of Audie Murphy's death may never be completely known, but the unsettling truth that has finally come to light casts a long shadow over his heroic legacy, and it most certainly isn't good.